go to SPS practice file 4, SPSS 4. So here we are, we've got this practice file 4. We are going to do these variables that are called health. See them here in health 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're going to do analyze, correlate, bivariate, and get these 9 health items over. And then click OK. And we got our correlation. So this is step 1. So remember, we've got the ones. We only need to look at half of it. So what kinds of R's do we have? You can look on mine, you can look on yours. What kinds of R's do we have? Do we have high enough R's? What's the R for counseling for mental problems correlated with ill enough to go to a doctor? 0.093. Is that a 0.4 or greater? No. Okay? So if you look at all of them, I mean, you just look through, do you see any 0.4s or greater? So I would say move on, right? But we're going to go that second step and we're going to run that reliability analysis. So analyze, scale, because we're making a scale, right? Go to scale. And then we'll go to reliability analysis. And then click on that. And we get this little reliability analysis dialog box. And we want the health items, so we can click them over, we can double click them, we can click once and push the arrow, we can click on the first one, then hold the shift key down and click on the last one and then push the arrow. But however you get them over, get all 9 of them. Get all 9 of them over, we're going to click on the statistics over here on the top right. And we want scale if item deleted. We always have to ask for scale if item deleted, or else it's just going to give us those top 2 little boxes. And then click continue and click OK, and that's all we need to do. And we have our Cronbach alpha. So we have the case processing summary again. We wrote here. There were 953. Oh, you can see that the Cronbach alpha is what? 0.245. Is that high enough? Can I make it any higher? What's going to happen to it if I delete ill enough to go to a doctor? It's going to go down to 0.201. Can I make that 245 any higher?
Yes.
What do I have to delete?
Bivariate hospital?
Yep. And then it will go up to 0.256. Is that going to help me? No. Because I'm never going to get this up to 0.7. I could delete it, run it again, see if another one will make it higher, delete it, run it again, see, right? You have to have at least 3 items, because you can't delete it, keep deleting and deleting until you're done, okay? So, not super helpful, right? So let's take a look, let's run this again. We're going to run a correlation bivariate. I can either highlight those and push them back over, or I can push the reset button. And the variables that I want are complement, help home, hobby, president, and relationship. So I click and say sort alphabetically. Makes your life way easier. Okay, so do you have those 5 over there? Once you have those 5, click OK. And I have correlations. Now, how are these correlated? This one, I have a 0.0, a 0.7, a 0.0. This one I have a 0.0, a 0.9, a 0.0. This one I have a 0.0, 0.0, and this one I have a 0.9. So they're all sort of, they all have a high one somewhere. Okay? So I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see what it looks like. So I'm going to go back to analyze, scale, reliability analysis. And I'm going to reset this guy, and I'm going to go back, I'm going to right click and say sort alphabetically, because and I want complement, help home, and you hold down the control, you can click on this. Hobby, president, relationship. So the shift gets a continuous set, but the control gets individual ones. Okay? So I'm going to click those over, say OK. Oh, I forgot to say, because I reset it, statistics, scale if item deleted, okay. Okay, all right, so I get this. So my alpha is 0.700. I have 5 items. Is that an acceptable amount? Is that an acceptable alpha? That's acceptable. 0.7. I told you it needed to be 0.7 or greater. That's acceptable. Okay, can I make it any higher? What would I have to get rid of to make it higher? Get rid of hobbies. Agree that you do hobbies with your spouse. Okay? Now, if I look at these, agree that you and your spouse complement each other. Agree that men should help at home. Agree that you do hobbies with your spouse. Agree that a woman is capable of being president. And agree that women can initiate a relationship with men. What am I measuring here? Is this about you and your relationship with your spouse, or is this about global something about women and men? What about this one? What about this one? Personal. What about this one? What about this one? So we have 3 that lead us as are global and 2 that lead us as are personal. I absolutely agree with you, right? And I bet that you all do. So let's go ahead and let's delete that one to see if we can get that 733. So that's hobby. So we're going to go back to analyze, scale, reliability, and we're just going to take hobby and we're going to pop it back over to the other side. And then we say okay, because everything is still set. And it goes up to 733, which again is perfectly respectable. Can I make it higher? Check it out. What do I have to delete to make it higher, and what will it be?
Agree you and your spouse combination there, and it'll be a plus 0.65.
It'll be 0.965, so it's going to jump way up, right? And we've already decided that that makes sense to get rid of that one, okay? So let's go ahead and do that, just to prove to ourselves what happens. Go back to analyze, scale, reliability, and get rid of, and that was called complement, right? Get rid of complement, run it again, and look, I get a 0.965. That's great. That's a really strong correlation. Can I make it any higher? No. And for 2 reasons. Because there's no number that's higher, but also I only have 3. You have to have a minimum of 3. So even if I could make it higher, I can't make it higher because I have to have a minimum of 3. So now I've got this. Now I'm going to make this variable. I didn't do anything to it. I'm just checking it to see if it fits. Now that I know exactly what fits, I know that I want to take these 3 variables and make them into the one. And these are president, help home, right? Help home, president, and relationship, right? So I'm going to take those 3 and make a new variable. So I'm going to say transform, compute. We've been here before. Does anybody remember when we went to transform and compute? We did this when we were jittering variables. So our new variable, what are we going to call this variable? What is the name of this construct? Gender role ideology, right? This is people's ideas, this complex of ideas about appropriate gender role behavior for men and women. Okay? So let's call it gender role ideology, which I like to abbreviate GRI. I don't want to type out that whole long thing. But I'm going to put in a label just so that the printout is nice. So gender role ideology. All right, and so I'm going to take president, help home, and relationship. So I go whichever one I want. I can right-click to sort alphabetically again, and I can take relationship because I have to be right there. Plus president plus help home. Okay, so it's a backwards math problem. And it says, first person score on relationship plus that first person's score on president plus that first person's score on help home. Add those up and it equals their score on GRI. Now do that for the second person, third person, fourth person, fifth person, right? And that's all I'm doing. I don't need any function groups. I'm not doing any of this business. I'm just saying score on each of these 3, add them up, and it's going to be their score on this new one. And just say okay. And at the bottom it says I've computed this new variable. If I go down to my taskbar and I go back to my data set, scroll all the way to the right, you can see I have a new variable called GRI. You can see that help, home, president, and relationship are right next to it. A complement and hobby are a little farther to the left. And can see that these range from 1 to 4. Did someone say 4? Okay, 1 to 4. See there's a 4 right there? You can look and you can see, if you go to descriptive frequencies, you can put in home president relationship. Home. I lost it. Oh, there it is. Home. And also put in our new GRI. Okay? Then go to statistics and click on mean and median. But continue and click OK. I can see that each of these range from 1 to 4. Oh, actually I think they range from 1 to 5. Because I think strongly agree would be number 5, but no one strongly agreed. Okay? So we can check it in here. If we go back to the data set, to the variable view, and we look at one of these, we can see they range from 1 to 5. See that? So 1 is strongly disagree and 5 is strongly agree. Okay, so I'm going back to my output. So if these range from 1 to 5, what's my minimum score on gender role ideology? Well, these range from 1 to 5. What have I done on gender role ideology? I've added these up. So if you, Annette, had a 1 here, a 1 here, and a 1 here, what's your score? 3. Okay, let's say that Andrew had a 5 here, a 5 here, and a 5 here. What's his score in gender role ideology? 15. Okay? So if the minimum possible is 1, the maximum possible is 15. So if we scroll down, we can see that nobody scored, the minimum is 3, the maximum is 15. People did score 3s. No one scored as high as 15. But the scale still ranges from 3 to 15. Okay? So I can see these 1,450 people, what they scored. Now I can go back up here to the little statistics box to decide, am I going to report the mean or the median, right? I don't care about these. I only care about this, right? Because now that I've made this new variable, this is the only thing I care about. So I can see that the mean is 7.15 and the median is 9. What's the difference? 1.85. So the difference between the median and the mean is 1.85. Now let's look. We have scores of 3 to 12. What's that range? 12 minus 3 equals 9. Okay? So we have a range in the actual scores. The scale can go from 3 to 15. But we have a range in the actual scores of 9 points. Is this 1.85 difference a lot or a little within the context of a range of 9? It's a little. It's not quite 2 ninths. That doesn't seem like a whole lot to me. So since we're saying it's a little, do I report the mean or the median? If I'm saying it's a little, is it skewed or not skewed? Not skewed. So if it's not skewed, what do we report? The mean or the median? The mean. Okay? We want to use the highest measure of central tendency, the most sophisticated measure of central tendency, which is the mean. Right? It's the mode, the median, the mean. The most sophisticated measure, unless it's skewed, that's when we report the mean. We're going to say, I created a gender role ideology scale. By combining how much respondents agree that a woman is capable of being president, comma, how much respondents agree that a woman can initiate a relationship with men, comma, and how much respondents agree that men should help out at home. The alpha was 0.965. The mean was 7.15. The mean score was 7.15. And the scale ranges from 3 to 15. So you have to say that. You have to talk about how you made your scale. Same thing with depression. I created a depression scale of the 17 depression items. Now with 17, you're not going to list them all. You probably list a couple of them. For example, how often do you feel fatigued? Or how often do you feel sad, blue, or lonely? Same thing with Rosenberg self-esteem. I created a self-esteem scale with the 10 Rosenberg self-esteem items. For example, give an item an example of a positive and a negative.